Welcome to Cody Builds. I'm your host Cody Langelier, and today we're going to be introducing the first project for this channel. It's a truck that's special to me. It's my grandfather's work truck. It's been parked for 26 years. It was parked in 1998 and it hasn't moved since. Now this is going to be a very special project as my grandfather passed when I was young, and some of my earliest memories are riding shotgun with him in that truck back and forth to the hardware store. He'd let me pick out a candy bar or a toy, and they're just some of the fondest memories. So this truck means a lot to me, and I hope you guys will join along as we bring this truck out of the shed, give it a wash, and start to prepare it for this build. Stick with me and let's get to work. Okay, so right in here's the truck. This is our next project. There it is, buried. 1975 Ford F150. We got a lot of work to do today to get this thing unburied. We're going to get it out of the shed here, get it up into the shop, and we're going to start tearing it down. Got big plans for this truck. We'll talk about those as we go along. But first order of business is going to be getting this thing out of the shed. It's going to take some work. He's got it really packed in here. Keep your eye on the roof rafters and the boom of the SkyTrack here. We immediately took out one of the roof rafters with the SkyTrack as we were trying to get these pallets off the rack. No harm, no foul though, as my dad's in the process of refurbishing the shed anyways. So the first thing we had to do was get these pallet racks down, get the construction material out of the way, and make room for us to be able to pull the truck out of the shed. And much like the roof rafter, you will see here in a minute that neither my father or I came out unscathed in this process, though this would prove to be kind of the worst part of the day. Oh, okay.
Slide to you a little bit.
And then you want to stand it up? Is that what you want to do?
Oh! Ouch. You okay?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I had a headache, but
I got it right in the back of my
I
head.
did too.
It's on camera too.
No, yep, that door casing got a 2-for-1 there. Got both of us in the back of the head. I think we were both surprised, thinking that each of us had been the only recipient of the blow to the back of the head, but we must have been standing exactly 30 inches apart because it was a 30-inch door casing. So after that, the next step here was for us to bring out the air compressor and try and get some air in these tires. The tires are so dry rotted and cracked. I was actually surprised we were able to get them to hold air, but we had to jack the truck up first to take the pressure off the tires to get a little air in there, get the tires pumped up, which ultimately allowed us to hook the SkyTrack up and drag the truck out into the sunlight for the first time in quite some time. Let's take a look in the truck here, see what we got. Mostly a bunch of garbage. Found one of Grandpa's old lumberyard hats. That's pretty cool. Not too much. It's pretty cleaned out. The old rope in here.
That's rope I've been looking for.
You've been looking for that one?
Really?
Is this one of Grandpa's old hats?
Oh, for sure.
The E. Allen Lumber Company?
Oh, no, that'd have been mine.
Was that you? Okay. This is, that's for a pitching machine. That's definitely from Dad. So he was telling me the last time he used this truck was when I was playing Little League. So that explains the pitching machine instructions. So I think you were right on the timeline for when this truck was parked. See what those are.
Oh, for the pitching machine. The instructions.
Instructions for the pitching machine and some whole shingle samples. I don't think those are good anymore. I don't know. Take them. I'll take that.
I'll grab that bucket.
Okay. With the truck out of the shed and into the sunlight, we wanted to blow the loose dirt and cobwebs out of the interior. We grabbed a leaf blower and gave the interior a once over. Once we were done with that, it was time for the truck's first bath in 26 years. We grabbed the pressure washer and knocked the loose dirt and mud off of the truck before we started disassembly. Once we had the truck back in the shop, it was time to get to work. I started underneath the truck by removing the drive shaft, exhaust, and fuel tank. My dad started at the front of the truck by removing the radiator, the fan, the wiring, the grill, the front bumper, and all the bolts that hold the doghouse in place. Once we had the doghouse loose, the two of us removed the doghouse in one piece and set it aside. All right, we made pretty good progress on the truck yesterday. I didn't slow down and film too much because there wasn't anything too terribly exciting. But yesterday we were able to get all the cab mounts knocked out, the bed mounts knocked out, got the front doghouse off. I think I filmed that. So today is going to be a day of big progress. Hoping to get the bed and the cab off, and then once those are off, we're going to pull the drivetrain. And then we're going to get this frame up to my shop so we can do some work back up home, and keep the progress going on this project. So I'll take you in here. You can see where we're at this morning. We got the doghouse off. As far as condition, the worst of this truck is in the front floor panel here. There's been a really crummy repair done years ago, and you can see we've got holes in the floorboard, and this floorboard's really shot here, so we're gonna end up replacing that. The rocker's not bad. The inner rocker's actually in pretty good shape. So we got lucky. Some of that's there, but then the outer rocker is gone. So at least we've got a little bit of structure here. We should be able to put something back together there, get some metal in there. The back corner of the cab corner and the inside rocker here, it's all gone. I kind of knew that. You know, fender wells. The bed's another story. The bed's in rough shape. This is the worst of it up here. You can see it's pretty much gone. We're going to be putting a new floor in this, but the one thing I'm going to have to find and see if I can find is the front support, bed support that runs under here. That thing is packed full of mud and it's rusted clean through. The bolts just pulled straight out when we were trying to get those out yesterday. So I'm going to have to put a new front panel, a new floor, and a new bed support, possibly. We'll see. When I cut this thing down, we're going to take 20 inches. Well, we're going to take 16 inches out of the front. So in doing that, we're going to be able to cut a lot of this rod out, but still, I'm going to need something to weld to under there for the body mounts, for the bed mounts. So yeah, so that's where we're at. Nothing too exciting back here, but we've got all the bed mounts loose, and we're learning a lot about this truck. One of the things we learned, this truck was originally blue. Well, the bed was. I think this bed is a replacement bed. So if you see in here, I got blue in the bed here. I believe the cab was brown. I haven't found any blue on the cab, but there was also some heavy Bondo work done in the back of this thing years ago, before my grandpa bought this truck. So, and yeah, and you start to look up at the paint and some of the scratches in the cab, and I can't find any blue on. Yeah, see here, the paint's completely gone. It's down to just bare metal, and there's no blue there. So I'm pretty sure this bed was replaced once already. It's not the original bed. Did find that it looks, even though we had been told it was not the original engine, the engine tag says it's a 360, which is what would have come with the truck. It's got the right date tag on it for the truck, manufactured in October 74. This truck's a 75, so that makes sense. When it came time to remove the bed and the cab, we called in some reinforcements. With the 5 of us, the bed was light work. It was very easy to pick that bed up, remove it from the frame, and set it down on the floor. The cab was a different story. The cab is completely intact with all the glass, full interior, and it was quite heavy. We gave it our best go and decided we were better off not attempting to try and move the cab any further than the 3 inches or so we were able to slide it back. It was just too heavy, and there was too much of a risk of dropping the cab, damaging the doors, or breaking the glass out of the cab. So what we did instead was we went ahead and we grabbed some 4x4 blocks. We blocked the cab up on the chassis, and that gave us some room to get the SkyTrack forks in. With the truck back outside and the cab locked up, we were able to grab the sky track and put the forks underneath the cab. Pretty quickly we realized we were going to have to cut a 2x4 to fit across the front of the forks and run from rocker to rocker under the cab of the truck. The forks just weren't long enough to balance the cab on, so once we had that 2x4 in place, we then went ahead and strapped the cab to the back of the forks, allowing it to lift the cab up off the chassis. With the cab off the chassis, we returned it back to the shed where the truck originally came from. For the time being, we're going to store the doghouse, cab, and bed back into the shed, keep it out of the elements. I'm going to take the frame back home and do all of our modifications on the frame before we start doing any of the body work.
So that's it for this episode. We've got the truck back in my shop, or what's left of it, and I hope you'll stick with me as we build this truck back into its former glory and get it back on the road. In the next episode, we're going to be talking about the build plans for this truck, and we're actually going to start some of the chassis modifications. You're going to see that in about a week, so keep building, and I'll see you soon.